You've probably heard of him. That reclusive hermit that's rarely ever seen. And when he is, it's usually in the middle of snowstorms, striking epic poses on the edge of cliffs. Who is he? Where did he come from? This is my story about that guy, because that guy is me. Plot twist. I wasn't always this epic. I was once just a rancher, peacefully breeding my mowers for their rare skins. But they were all killed in a cowardly TPS ambush, after I attacked them because I thought they had stolen my cool purple lantern. So my farm was now empty, and I had lost my way. Only the Mower King had stayed with me, and one day, he led me to the forge, and told me that I needed to start again, get back to who I once was. It's too easy here, he said, with your creature deterrent and all your comfort and your fancy weapons. Go back to your roots, where the cold shaped you. Find that inner fire to keep you warm. And I said, that's a lot of metaphors. But he was right. I put aside the tech I relied on too much. I dropped my laser sidearm, forgot about my guns that were lost in the TPS base, and I forged myself new weapons. Weapons of my ancestors. Viking weapons made of cold steel. I needed to go, get away from the bad memories here and start fresh.
I'll see you, mate.
I said my goodbyes to the Mower King. This was his land, and he said he would wait for my return and watch over the farm until then. And then just like that, I headed out into the storm, its vicious sand winds already scouring away the layers of civilization I'd been building up. And when I was out of sight of the Mower King, I turned for one last look. But fittingly, I couldn't see anything behind me. It was all washed away. Then I went around the corner and hid in a cave for a bit because I was getting exposure damage. And then I realised I'd forgot to top up my water and oxygen. Like I said, I was getting sloppy, so I snuck back into the base to top them up. And then I headed out again and fought my way across the merciless desert, going toe to toe with the worst it could throw at me until I found a cave back into the tundra, and I knew I was home. I missed a gribbler point blank with my bow and saw how rusty I was.
Good dodge here, Hex.
I didn't get the chance for a second shot because a slinker picked up my trail immediately, and I felt that old thrill of being both the hunter and the hunted. I tried to track it, but some skulks mauled me bad and gave me a wound, and I knew I was already in trouble in this harsh land. I decided to run for it, try outdistance a slinker and find some fibre so I could tend to my wound. I expected him to jump me at any moment, but he stayed in the shadows. He had my scent. He would strike when I least expected it. So I pressed on, and as I crested a hill, I saw it. My old base. It was still standing. A storm was rolling in, welcoming me back. I felt alive, and I made my way home. I got the fire going and found my bed. Then I took in the old familiar view. Hear me, Tundra. I will find my edge again, ignite that cold fire inside me with the heat of 1,000 snowstorms. Yeah, everything was rusty, even my metaphors. I began my day as I would begin every day, 20 laps in my lake, while being bitten by a poisonous piranha, who really got up in there. Then I would hit the tundra, hunting and perfecting my skills with the bow and the knife. That damn slinker, he still had my trail though, and he jumped me on day one. And though I fought back with tooth and nail and axe, he killed me in hand-to-hand combat. When I returned to get my gear, he was gone, so I thought, cool, I'll make my way back home. But the little bugger was spawn camping me. Rather than report him, My old instincts kicked in and I killed him, this time with my bow, and then I finished him off with the knife. And from there, I grew tougher. I would run the tundra, hunting with my bow and fighting creatures with my cold steel weapons. The tundra had learnt to fear me and my legend grew. I was an old hermit living rough out here in some savage corner of Elysium. I would practice my dodging on the charging Skulks. And my bow skills on those elusive Vespers. The Slinkers, they were my most dangerous foe. Sometimes even photobombing me when I was trying to take some cool selfies. But over time, I learned their ways, sensed when they were near, and my skill with the bow grew. I could take them out with a single shot, and soon, when they saw me, when they realised it was me, they would run for their lives. The Slinkers quickly learned that I had become the apex predator. The Skulks recognised it as well and began following me, knowing that where I ran, fresh meat would be left behind. Over time, we even began working together to take down our prey.
Spring the trap. Take 'em, boys. Oh yeah.
I'd lost track of the days, but on one of them, while I was running with a grin through a wild storm, I caught a familiar scent, and I rounded a corner. There was the raptor called Fastfoot, the youngling I had taken out to try find the survivors of our doomed expedition. He had tracked me down, and he asked to join me, and then some Skulks rolled up and introduced themselves too.
Hey fellas.
He was the grandson of Sneakfish, my first ever raptor, the one whose death stung me the most. And he too wanted to avenge the old raptor. I said, okay, but I'm going to train you to be the greatest warrior the raptors have ever seen. And from now on, your name is Bloodfire Shark Feather. And he said, okay. And so it was official. I was building a pack again. But this time, I was going to make sure they were ready for anything. More Skulks joined. Gribblers became my range support by throwing their sticks, and Bloodfire Shark Feather became the greatest raptor fighter I had ever seen. Even the Slinkers stopped being dicks and joined my pack. It was hard going finding prey to practice our skills on, so I came up with a plan. You see, if you plugged in one of these enzyme condensers over a geyser, the wildlife of Icarus would come from miles around to attack it. So I put my pack around it, and we waited for their ambush.
Okay, get ready.
My Skulks and Slinkers and Bloodfire Shark Feather easily handled them, healing themselves as they ripped wolves and bears apart. My Gribblers, though, they struggled. And my rare red-skinned one was killed. And when I looked at the others, they were badly wounded. Except for this guy, he's okay. I'd hoped the Gribblers would stay back and throw sticks, but they preferred to get in close, and they just weren't built for that. So I sent them home, and I did it again with the rest of my troops.
Oh, sorry, Slinker.
Again, they did it easily, increased their skills, and made me some exotics and condensed enzymes on the side. And that's how I became Old Temm, and how my legend began. I'd done all I could here. It was time to return back to my ranch, back to where the heat of the desert would turn the ice in my veins into cold, hot lava frost. Yeah, nailed that metaphor.